Good evening. Welcome to Newswatch, where we bring you news that made headlines tonight. My name is Melissa Oduor. On the sign language is Boniface Bureidi. Newswatch begins now. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has lauded the security operation dubbed Operation Ondoa Jangili for pacifying the border counties of Isiolo and Marsabit. He says the multi-agency operation, which targets criminal groups, has succeeded in curbing several criminal activities, including the proliferation of small arms, illegal mining, drug and human trafficking, as well as cross-border incursions. Speaking during the Jukwaa la Mwananchi session in Marsabit County, Murkomen said, Murkomen was presented with a progress report of the operation, which revealed that more than 200 arms had been recovered and resulted in the arrest of more than 300 suspects, many of whom have been charged. Meanwhile, the war on drug trafficking has netted 286 foreign nationals.
In this county, together with Isiolo County, which is Operation Ondoa Jangili. And that operation is dealing with particularly issues to do with human trafficking and issues of drugs. A lot of this is cannabis sativa, and you have seen also heroin is also involved. A number of these cases have led to arrest of many suspects, some of whom have been already convicted, and others, their cases are ongoing. And as a result of that operation, we have confiscated a number of firearms. More than 200 firearms have been confiscated from this area. More than 300 suspects have been arrested in the operation Ondoa Jangili, which has really helped to bring order and stop the proliferation of small arms here, question of ammunition that were being supplied through this route, and also the question of drugs that are being trafficked along this route. This is an ongoing operation. This is a successful operation so far, but we cannot say that it is over, because it's an ongoing operation, as I said, because of the porous border. And that is the challenge we are dealing with between us and our Ethiopian counterpart.
The Kenya Union of Public and Private Education Teachers, KUPPET, has reiterated its concerns regarding matters pertaining to the administration of junior secondary schools, JSS. Addressing the press, the union, led by its Secretary General Akelo Misori, has cautioned that the removal of funding for exam invigilation will lead to parents in the country incurring these costs. It said the situation arises in the context of a reported budget shrub, which is perceived as threatening the 2025 national exams involving an estimated 2.5 million learners. Dolly Murigimbuvi now reports.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, has voiced significant concerns following report that over 2.5 million learners could be prevented from sitting for the 2025 national examinations. According to the Union Secretary General Akelo Misori, the potential exclusion is occasioned by the notable absence in the proposed 2025-2026 national budget. KUPPET has termed this action as a dangerous gamble in the future of Kenyan children.
Is that the Ministry of Education Quality Assurance Department will not at all do anything to assure our quality. And that means that it is all dead. This is despite the department's centrality to the maintenance of standards of all levels of education. The removal of all funding for examination, invigilation, and management almost certainly means that parents will be required to meet the costs. The estimates indicate massive cuts for the school feeding program, capitation for primary and junior secondary schools, and the Teacher Service Commission.
KUPPET has meanwhile criticized the government for its lack of sensitivity in halting the confirmation of at least 20,000 junior secondary school teachers in permanent and pensionable positions.
In the TAC budget, for example, the Treasury has slashed the entire budget for the confirmation of 20,000 intern or junior secondary school teachers into permanent and pensionable terms. The Commission has also not been provided any funding for the employment of another 20,000 teachers for the January 2026, as promised by the President during this year's Labor Day.
The union says the absence of this assessment raises significant concerns as it jeopardizes the advancement of the CBC, which relies heavily on the regular evaluation like keeps here. Akelo has warned that the absence of this critical assessment, students in grade 6 and grade 9 may find themselves in a state of academic uncertainty.
Power. Power. Power.
KUPPET is a waiver demanding the reinstatement of education funding to the level specified in the budget policy statement.
KUPPET is alarmed by the contradictory policies by the Ministry of Education for the management of junior schools. The latest such policy, the circular on incorporation of junior school teachers in Kenya Primary School Sports Association leadership, that purports to mainstream junior school teachers within primary school system in terms of activities.
The Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) has not yet released an official statement. However, there are growing concerns that the preparation for the 2025 examinations may be hindered unless immediate funding is obtained. Dolly Murikimbuvi for Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly, for that report. Now, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has cited fraud, misuse and double payment as the main reasons behind the move to terminate the Edu Afia medical scheme. Appearing before the Senate, Duale claimed that some unnamed hospitals exploited loopholes in the program, leading to the misappropriation of government funds. While responding to a question from Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, Duale explained the challenges faced by the program, which provided comprehensive medical coverage for secondary school students under the now defunct National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF. The scheme commenced on the 1st of May 2018 and was renewable annually for a period of 5 years, lapsing December 31st. However, the CS says the program encountered several issues relating to the system used for its implementation, the National Education Management Information System, NEMIS.
The Ministry of Education engaged the former National Hospital Insurance Fund to provide a comprehensive medical insurance cover for all students in public secondary schools. This scheme was branded Edu Afia, commenced on 1st of May 2018 and was renewable annually for a period of 5 years, lapsing 31st of December. Honorable Speaker, this scheme was rolled out through the National Education Information System, NEMIS. There are several challenges that were found in that system. Fraud, misuse, double payment were made to health institutions arising from a single treatment. And if the Senator wants those information, I can provide the names and the institutions. As such, it was found to be unsustainable, and the government resolved to reconsolidate all these special schemes into one, the Social Health Authority benefit package. Therefore, Honorable Speaker and Senators, the consolidation of the Edu Afia scheme with all the schemes that were managed by the defined NHIF is geared at implementing the right to the highest attainable standards for all Kenyans, and further, the right of the child as envisaged under Article 53, Sub-Article 1C of the Constitution of Kenya, as read together with Section 16 of the Children's Act, which guarantees every child shall have the right to the highest attainable standard of healthcare services in our country. Honorable Speaker, under SHA, students belong to our household, and therefore they're eligible to benefit from the three funds. Honorable Speaker, on the last part of the question by the Honorable Senator for Nairobi, on Mr. Elios Majau Mlimuta, whose son, Master Robin Murimi Majau, a Form 4 student at Kibera Secondary School, passed away on the 9th of September 2022. May his soul rest in peace. The response is this. The comprehensive medical scheme for students in public secondary schools included a group life, the last experience cover in the case of the demise of the student.
And the National Police Service Commission is currently conducting interviews for 132 senior police officers seeking promotions to various higher ranks following extensive training at the Kiganjo and Emali. Acting Chair Commissioner Eliud Cheluget has confirmed that the program also covers chief officers aspiring to progress to ASP positions, including 69 trained in Emali and 63 in Kiganjo. He said despite the absence of some commissioners, the process continues as the commission awaits the appointing authority to fill the remaining positions and ensure that the commission is fully constituted. Cheluget has further emphasized the adoption of digital systems to enhance recruitment, promotions, and disciplinary processes aiming to save time, reduce costs, and eliminate corruption. The program, which began in February this year, has been in development for 2 years to strengthen police capacity and ensure optimal performance.
What we have developed has largely removed human interaction and automated major parts so that integrity can be enhanced. For instance, it combines it will be online recruitment, and we have taken care of your concerns. What will happen to the areas who do not have, who do not have internet? We have what we call pre-recruitment clinics. We will be going everywhere to support this process, and we are giving enough time for the applications to be done. We have also ensured that there is sufficient firewalling of the system to prevent hackers, and we have also enhanced the capacity of the system to receive huge data coming in so that there are no clockups, and after that we will go to the field now.
And it is a solid program that has been given to the commission, and it has been a dry run, and it is going to be a game changer in terms of ensuring that the recruitment process and all the other activities of the commission is performed to the optimal, to the highest levels, and to the best capability of the commission. It is a program that has been worked on for close to 2 years now, and it is being processed and finalized, including other stakeholders. The ministry is with us in terms of ensuring that this is performed to the optimal, and all other stakeholders.
First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto has urged Kenyans to adopt sustainable, innovative farming methods in their home gardens to produce sufficient, nutritious food. Speaking during the launch of the national rollout of the Mama Kitchen Garden program at the Koibatek Agricultural Training Center in Eldama Ravine, Nakuru County, the First Lady said there is need to integrate indigenous knowledge with modern farming practices to boost food production. She hailed the project, saying it aims to boost national food and nutrition security, which she termed as the basic foundation of a prosperous nation. Now, over the past 8 months, the project model has been tested, piloted in selected schools in Nairobi, while another 21 counties have further benefited from the program. The First Lady said the Ministry of Agriculture and Development partners will provide training, seeds, tools, and extension services to ensure the program's successful rollout.
Na wacha niseme asante, maana tunajua kwamba pia tulizindua mambo ya Mama Kitchen Gardens na nimefurahi sana. Na wacha nishukuru mwalimu mkuu, na wacha nimshukuru mwalimu yule wa 4K Club na walimu wote, wazazi na wanafunzi, maana tumeweza kuona kwamba ile mboga ambayo tulipanda miezi miwili iliyopita tumeweza kuvuna, na watoto sasa wanakula hiyo mboga. Mumekula hiyo mboga watoto? Mumekula? Mumechuna? Ni tamu? Wote tuweze kufanya hivyo. Hii ni mfano tu. Tunafanya hivi katika shule. Mnanisikia watoto? Tunafanya hivi shuleni ili na nyinyi pia kule nyumbani mpeleke na mwanze kufanya hizi kitchen gardens, kupanda mboga. Nimesikia kwamba wazazi wengi wanafanya hivyo, lakini hata nyinyi watoto muweze kuomba wazazi wenu wawapatie tu sehemu kidogo kwa hiyo kitchen garden. Panda sukuma 2, panda spinach 2, panda maharagwe 10, panda mahindi 20, na mwisho mtaona kwamba pia nyinyi mmeweza kupata mavuno. Wangapi wananiahidi watapanda sukuma 2, spinach 2, maharagwe 5, mahindi 20? Hebu nione kwa mikono yetu. Hii, asanteni. Hii ndio tunaita food security.
Kakamega Senator Bonnie Khalwale is demanding the resignation of Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua over the growing controversies surrounding the diaspora jobs program dubbed Kazimaju Foreign Job Placement. Speaking at the Senate, Khalwale said CS Mutua should step aside to allow for independent investigations amid claims that desperate job seekers were defrauded after paying hefty fees for overseas opportunities that never materialized.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to draw the attention of the CS to the figure 5%. Going by the example in this House, the House is expected to be properly constituted when we have at least 2 people, 2 senators who live with disability. The Speaker would never start the House unless that provision was made. In your case, it is 5%. Listening to you, you are giving the country the go-round, whiling and talking about circulars and all manner of things that you have said. This failure by yourself and your ministry in this issue of 5% is a reflection of your failure in the employment of our youth outside the country. Those youths have asked me this morning, because they knew you were coming, that I demand of you, which I now do, that you resign Senator, as the cabinet secretary in the ministry. Boni, are you willing to do so that you can be properly investigated?
Senator Boni, Honorable CS, you can disregard totally that statement by Senator Boni. Just disregarded that statement. It's got nothing to do with what has brought you before this House. Senator.
From the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, have arrested another suspect, Amos Barasa Kasili, in connection with the murder of Kasipul MP Charles Ongondo Were, who was shot dead on the 30th of April near the City Mortuary roundabout in Nairobi. Barasa was arrested in Kibra Darajani and identified as the rider of the getaway motorcycle used by the killers to trail the MP and flee the scene. Police recovered the motorcycle, a Bajaj Boxer, registration KMFZ 413W, and Barasa confessed to receiving 50,000 shillings for his role. He also has a criminal record and met some of the suspects during a previous jail term at Indasoleria prison. Now, his arrest follows that of prime suspect Isaac Kuria, alias Kush, near the Kenya-Tanzanian border. He's currently in custody for 30 days as investigations continue. Total number of suspects now stands at 12. We now take a fast short break here on Newswatch. We'll be back with more stories. Don't go too far.
This week on Testify.
My parents were very, very strict. And in the spiritual disciplines, when it comes to reading the Bible daily, it was daily. So if we miss reading the Bible, we will miss the food. If we are late to the prayer, we'll be kneeling down on the stones, like salt stones. That hurts a lot. Due to this kind of strict family, Christian family, that made me to go far away from Christ. It made me to take me far away from Christ, that I get into a lot of addictions in my early ages. Like when I was in my 4th grade, I was started doing smoking.
How old were you?
Maybe around 10 or 12.
10 years old.
Only on Hope TV. Look and live.
Going back to the heart of worship.
Whether up the mountain or down the valley, we were created to worship God.
Enjoy carefully selected worship music every Wednesday all day long.
Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
We take it a notch higher with more worship music.
Every Wednesday
is Worship Wednesday.
Only on Hope FM. Listen and live.
Thank you for tuning in to Hope TV, your go-to channel for hope, inspiration, education, and wholesome entertainment. At Hope TV, we are committed to knowing God and making Him known through powerful media content. We truly value you and are dedicated to serving you better. For feedback, inquiries, or complaints, reach out via WhatsApp or SMS on 0708 222 Email us at customerexperience@hopefm.org. Hope TV, look and live.
We are back with more news. Now, the Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of Performance and Delivery Management in the Executive Office of the President, Eliud Owalo, has called for an African-driven artificial intelligence agenda grounded in ethics, inclusion, and relevance to local realities. In his keynote address during the official opening of a two-day international multidisciplinary conference at the Rongo University in Migori County, Owalo emphasized that artificial intelligence is no longer a distant concept, but a real-time force reshaping society. He has warned against potential risks ranging from algorithm bias, threats to data privacy and cybersecurity, and the deepening of digital divides, and stressed the need for deliberate and inclusive governance frameworks. Owalo has called on institutions like Rongo University to embed AI and digital literacy across all disciplines and to actively promote interdisciplinary research addressing real-world challenges in local communities. At the forum under the theme Harnessing Artificial Intelligence and Innovation for a Sustainable Future and Advancing Global Resilience, brought together researchers, educators, policymakers, and industry experts to explore how emerging technologies can drive resilience in sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, education, and finance.
From my vantage point within the Executive Office of the President, I can affirm that the coordination of these efforts, ensuring effective alignment, performance, service delivery, and impact across ministries and sectors remains a high national priority. Our collective ambition is clear, not merely to adapt technology, but to shape it, govern it responsibly, and ensure that it uplifts the standards of living of all Kenyans for purposes of both economic growth and economic development. Universities are at the heart of this transformation, and I therefore urge institutions such as Rongo University to effectively integrate AI and other emerging technologies and digital literacy across all fields of study, from science and engineering to agriculture, health, and even humanities. I encourage you to promote interdisciplinary research that addresses real-world challenges, especially those affecting our rural communities. I call upon you, therefore, to uphold ethical standards, ensure fairness, impartiality, transparency, and accountability in technological innovation. I also, in equal measure, invite you to foster innovation ecosystems that nurture startups, entrepreneurial thinking, and community-driven solutions.
Operations at the Eldoret-based Ripley company were on the better part of the day disrupted after over 200 workers went on strike. The workers camped outside the company's main gates as they demanded the payment of their 2-month salary arrears, which they claim amounts to over 40 million shillings. The workers also accused the company management of exposing them to severe mistreatment and exploitation. Ripley Company is a manufacturer and supplier of veneer, plywoods, chipboards, doors, block boards, ceiling boards, and melamine boards, among other timber products.
Mambo ambayo inahusiana na CBA, ambao CBA ni mkataba wa tajiri na mwajiriwa, ambao sisi kama waajiriwa tumejaribu, tumeona wameenda kinyume na mkataba wetu wa CBA kulingana vile inafaa tulipwe. Sababu ukiangalia inasemekana ya kwamba inatakana tarehe ya mwisho kulipwa kulingana na CBA ni kufika tarehe 2, kurudi nyuma ndio inatakana kila mtu akuwe amelipwa. Na ukiangalia mambo haya vile yanafanyika ni kulingana ya kwamba ni kitu kama kujaribu kuweka frustration. Sababu gani? Wewe uchoke au wafanye vile wanafanya, ukitaka wewe uende wakuepane na sheria, kulipa watu kulingana na sheria. Nikirudi upande mwingine, tuko na wale watu ambao ni retirees. Kuna watu ambao walifanya kazi na wakaachishwa kazi kuanzia 2022. Kutoka 2022 up to date, hakuna ambaye amelipwa. Watu 120 hawajalipwa up to date. Na ukiangalia kati ya hao hata kuna wengine ambao tayari wamefariki, wamewacha dues zao hapa. Tuko tayari kwa hiyo list, tuko na watu 3 ambao wamefariki tayari. Sasa nitakana wale spouse wao wakuje wapatiwe hizo pesa. Mpaka sasa hivi bado hawajapewa.
Na hiyo memo ndio tulireact, tukauliza hii memo hatutakubaliana nayo. Tumishahara tunayouliza sio ya mwezi wa 5, ni ya mwezi wa 4. Na advance hakuna, tunangojanga tu mshahara peke yake. Sasa tukaonelea twende tuulize kama officials wa union. Kufika huko tajiri yetu anasema hawezi ongea na sisi. Chenye ameandika hicho ndio tutachofuata. Na ndio sasa imeanza hii furuku. Tukikuja asubuhi tulikuwa tunajua tunaingia ndani kama boardroom tuongelee kwa nini mshahara imewekwa hiyo tarehe. Lakini mwajiri yangu akafunga keti. Ndio niko hapa nje, imejaa hii chanzo sote ni tajiri. Hataki niingie ndani nifanye kazi, sitakataa kazi. Ni mshahara pekee nahitaji ndio nifanye kazi.
Elsewhere, workers at the Chemelil Sugar Company have staged demonstrations demanding that the management of the farm pays them their outstanding dues and claiming that they are being harassed and fired without warning. The workers have vowed to continue paralyzing operations at the farm until their demands are met ahead of the takeover of the farm by the new management. The government has announced plans to lease the troubled miller to Kibos Sugar and Allied Industries, a plan the workers under the union had last month vehemently opposed, saying Kibos had been ranked as the lowest bidder and had a poor labor track record.
From where we sit today, employees have since raised a compelling demand that they have refuted most of the nini that were raised in the memorandum. Employees have raised a compelling demand that they do not honor that agreement because that agreement did not encapsulate several issues as per their legitimate expectation. So we are calling upon the government that our demand number 1, we are requesting the government to pay us all our salary arrears owing to the employees before we transit to the next dispensation of leasing.
We are ready for the leasee to come in, but before he comes in, let him pay us. Let the government clear with the employees first before the leasee comes in to do his business. We have talked to the DC. We have told him we are going to take charge of the security of the factory. Nothing is going to be spoiled. We are peaceful. Let him put his soldiers at the main road. But for the company, we are going to take care of it.
We are not slaves. If they come to Kenya, they should treat us as people of Africans and even as human beings. We are not chopped. We are not a chopped branch of a tree. We are a living human being. And therefore, we are supposed to be treated as a human being. The way they treated us yesterday, you run helter-skelter here and there because of the time management. Helter-skelter. Huh? And they have not even paid us anything. That is unfair. And the transition period that the government gave was 6 months, I don't know what, 1 year.
Residents from Oduor's village in Muhoroni, Kisumu County have accused the government of neglecting them and abandoning government projects initiated to improve their lives. The residents have cited a stalled hospital structure that they say had been put up 20 years ago and whose works have stalled for a long time. They further lament that they only receive allocation reports and no work to show for it. The residents are pleading with the government to help maintain the roads leading to the area and the local bridges to ease movement, especially during emergency. They say school-going children are at risk of being swept away by flood waters after the local bridge was swept away by the rains some years ago.
Hii hospitali walianza 2015. 2015 mpaka wa leo tujaona chochote. Wanakuja watu ya country, wanaform committee, baada ya committee wanamepea sisi allocation, unaweza sikia ni 2.5 million. Na hiyo pesa nyumaye uoni pale inaenda. Kutoka siku hiyo ilianza na jamaa ingine inaitwa Ranguma. Ranguma akawacha, Anyanga kaingia. Paka wa leo hakuna kitu imefanyika.
We have got no accessible roads to the dispensaries, to the hospitals. We have got no accessible roads to the schools. We have got no accessible roads to the markets. So we are in an island. Oduor is isolated in all aspects. Whether it is electricity, whether it is roads, whether it is water, whether it is dispensary. We are the way you are seeing us. And we are worried that 13 years down the devolution, with the devolved government, we can still have a village in such economic status.
We are requesting the government to help us. It is difficult to access the roads until the hospital, St. Vincent or in Awasi. It is difficult. And even students around here, we have St. Patrick's Oduor here and Oduor Primary. If a student feels sick, it forces the teachers to get them the transport which will take them until they get to the hospital. And if you see the post, it is written, the employer is the county government for Kisumu. So I'm requesting if the hospital can be built so that even the unnecessary deaths which occur due to inaccessible roads can be reduced so that we can also be like other people in other areas.
International scene now, former Uruguayan President Jose Mujica, known as Pepe, has died at the age of 89. The ex-guerrilla who governed Uruguay from 2010 to 2015 was known as the world's poorest president because of his modest lifestyle. Current President Yamando Orsi announced his predecessor's death on X, thanking him for everything he gave his country and for his deep love for his people. The politician's cause of death is not known, but he had been suffering from esophageal cancer. Mujica, who became leader alongside other left-wing presidents such as Luis Inacio Lula da Silva in Brazil and Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, has left a legacy of never being accused of corruption or of undermining his country's democracy. While in office, Mujica rejected moving into the State House presidential residence, as heads of state around the world usually do. Mujica retired from politics in 2020, though he remained a central figure in Uruguay and was elected senator, but also spent part of his time traveling the world. Last year, Mujica announced he had cancer and said he accepts the final outcome as something natural without drama. To business news now, Christ is the Answer Ministry CITAM has unveiled a new department that will leverage of its equipment for functions and events. The new department will enable the church ministry to rent out its tent seats and sound equipment for events within and without the church ministry in a bid to leverage on its assets and generate more revenue for the ministry. The launch of the new department was presided over by CITAM Bishop Kalisto Dede at the ministry headquarters, CITAM Parklands.
Lord, we pray that we'll be able to make resources and funds out of this business.
Today was a very special day where we were launching the CITAM events. CITAM events basically is just looking at how we can be able to leverage on maximizing or leveraging on our own activities to make sure that we are not losing out on revenue.
Now, CITAM Events is a business that has been, or a unit that has been born out of need. We recently analyzed the amount of money that CITAM has been spending on hiring of tents for events, whether it is DVBS, whether it is some churches like our church in Syokimau or in Kikuyu. And we realized that we are spending a handsome amount of money, over 21 million shillings in the year 2024. And we looked into ways of how we can be able to reduce that amount. And this we are doing in two ways. Number one, fabricating our own tents, and we have reduced the cost of fabrication of these tents or ownership of these tents by 50%. And then number two, eliminating the need for the church and other units within CITAM to hire tents, then reducing the operational cost significantly.
We will also be able to lease out the same to other churches and other people out there. And even young men and women who have activities and events in the church will be able to access excellent service from our items.
And our mission is to be able to serve everybody, whether you're a CITAM member or you're not a CITAM member. We are going to be having packages that are going to suit you, whoever you are in the society.
The venture will not only be a blessing to the church, but the venture will also be profitable.
Supermarket has termed as misinformation reports circulating on social media that it had stocked expired food on its shelves and the subsequent closure of its Nairobi branches. In a statement, the retailer said it has strict internal quality control and stock management systems to ensure product safety and in compliance with health regulations. This comes after reports emerged that the Nairobi County Assembly's Health Committee had ordered the immediate closure of all Carrefour and Naivas supermarket branches across the city over exposed expired food items on display and several food handlers without the mandatory health certifications, following a spot check at the Naivas Moi Avenue. Committee Chair Maurice Ocheng said the shutdown order also involved Carrefour supermarket and will remain in effect until all affected staff undergo proper health testing and the supermarkets meets food safety regulations. However, Naivas has in a statement said it will not submit to extortionary tactics and has strict anti-bribery laws.
Of Health, Nairobi County. I'm the chair, I'm on the policy chair. I have a team of 3 members, and we are on a first-finding mission. We have walked through almost eateries and supermarkets. Now we are here at Naivas Supermarket, Moi Avenue, and we have realized that one, there are expired products which are being put in the shelf, rendering Nairobians to be at a risk because of the food safety. Number two, we have come up and found that most of people who are handling the food are not being tested. So we therefore, as a committee, resolved that we close all the Naivases so that they can be tested and be given certificates so that they are able to serve the Nairobians. The most important thing is about food safety, and we will not sit back. And we are urging the CEC, Madam Susan Silantoi, to move with the speed to make sure that Nairobians are safe under food, because most of these facilities have expired products. For example, we have Daima yogurt, which is expired and is being put in the shelf, and Nairobians are buying expired products. With this one, KCC, Daylight yogurt, there is no shelf life. So even the clients are not able to know when it's expiring and when it was manufactured.
Listed agribusiness farm Kakuzi has announced that it intends to introduce a fourth commercially produced crop using agricultural technology, agtech solutions, and diversify its domestic and export markets in the next 10 years to enhance shareholder returns. Speaking at the farm's 97th annual general meeting, Kakuzi Managing Director Chris Flowers said the farm is exploring the addition of a fourth commercial crop alongside the current macadamia, avocado and blueberry crops. He said the need for a fourth commercial large-scale crop for Kakuzi remains a key priority as the farm continues to evaluate the business case for blueberries, which are showing promising potential. And the farm intends to nearly double avocado production and exports from 3 million to 5 million 4-kilo equivalent cartons. Kakuzi Chairman Nicholas Nganga stressed the need for a national economic diplomacy effort to ensure avocado success in the U.S. market and tariff-free access in the China and India markets. During the AGM, Kakuzi shareholders approved the payment of a first and final dividend of 8 shillings per ordinary share for the financial year ending 31st December 2024 to the shareholders on the members' register at the close of business on Friday, 30th of May 2025. And Absa Bank Kenya has officially launched its custody service business in Kenya. Under the offering, the bank will offer safekeeping and servicing of assets, settlement of instructions for both local and cross-border investments, compliance and statutory reporting, track and execute corporate actions, portfolio reconciliations, and provide customers with timely reports. The niche segments for the service will include fund managers of collective investment schemes and gratuity funds, pension fund trustees. The custody business was officially unveiled during a stakeholder engagement forum in Nairobi, themed Aligning to the Future of Investments. The event gathered industry stakeholders from both pension and capital markets, including pension administrators, fund trustees, fund managers, insurance companies, circles, industry associations, and regulatory bodies.
I think for us, what's really important is the alternative investments opportunities that come with this. And we are then going to tap into the complementing solutions such as our Euroclear infrastructure license. This enables us to access offshore securities such as Eurobonds and the commodity space, as which you all know, our pride in this market is the Absa Gold ETF, which again gives access to ETFs in this market and to benefit from different commodities and asset classes that are available to the investor community.
Your role extends beyond merely the safeguarding of assets. You serve as fiduciaries. You serve as guardians of financial security. You have to participate in enhancing transparency in the transactions and the dealings with your clients. The question of management of risks, I believe, is in your space. And I believe that you will ensure efficient functioning of the pension sector, working together with the Retirement Benefits Authority and the other regulators in this space. With the financial world moving towards more integrated, tech-driven solutions, I have no doubt that you'll be able to leverage on these solutions to offer services that enhance efficiency in this market, that enhance security in this market, but more importantly, customer satisfaction.
The sports now, basketball champions Nairobi City Thunder are set to mark a historic milestone as they debut in the prestigious Basketball Africa League Ball when the Nile Conference tips off in Kigali, Rwanda from the 17th to the 25th of May. Thunder, who stormed through the East Division qualifiers with an emphatic win over Creole Star in last year's Elite 16 finals, now join a tough pool that includes Rwanda's APR, Libya's unbeaten Al Ahly Tripoli, and South Africa's wild card entrance made by Basketball MBB. Guided by head coach Bradley Ebbs, the team is determined to carry their domestic dominance onto the continental stage with hopes of securing a playoff berth in next month's finals in Pretoria, South Africa. And the former world champion cyclist Rohan Dennis has been given a 2-year suspended sentence over a car incident in Australia which killed his wife of 5 years, fellow Olympian Melissa Hoskins. Dennis pleaded guilty to one aggravated count of creating the likelihood of harm after Hoskins was struck by the car he was driving during a fight outside the couple's Adelaide home in 2023. Hoskins was taken to hospital after being struck but later died of her injuries. Dennis was initially charged with dangerous driving causing death and driving without due care and pleaded not guilty, but he later admitted to a single lesser charge. Judge Ian Press said Dennis had disregarded his wife's safety but was not criminally responsible for her death and accepted he was remorseful. Dennis retired at the end of the 2023 season after a cycling career in which he won a silver medal team pursuit at the London 2012 Olympics and a road team trial bronze at Tokyo 2022. He also won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in 2022. And that's how we wrap up News Watch tonight. Many thanks for your company as we brought you news, views, and some interviews. On the sign language has been Boniface Muredi. My name is Melissa Oduor. Have a good night.